Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, it's time to start getting excited again about Decidueye. You see, when Decidueye came out initially, we got Decidueye GX, and Decidueye GX was phenomenal. Once during your turn, you could place 2 damage counters per Decidueye onto one of your opponent's Pokemon. The GX attack that recovered any free cards into your hand was quite nice. Your main attack was meh. But we had Forest of Giant Plants at the time. You could evolve it up as fast as you liked. And this was one of the very, very best Pokemon in the game for a while. In fact, until they banned Forest of Giant Plants. But they did ban Forest of Giant Plants. And you see, ever since then, Decidueye has been an also-ran. Well, the good news is they've gone and given Decidueye what might finally be another really good card. As always, shout out to the wonderful Antoine Boulet for providing our translation. So Decidueye then, what do we see? 140 HP on a stage 2 sucks. That is low. Like, really low. We saw Dracovish has 150 as a stage 1. And that is not the only stage 1 I could name that has more HP than this. Not loving it. Retreat cost of 2 does mean you can have free retreat with Air Balloon, so it ain't too bad. And we do have a weakness to fire here, which with all the Welder decks running around is not great. Firebox is a really good archetype right now. We got lots of really good random fire Pokemon. Being weak to all of them isn't ideal. And you are a grass Pokemon, which means you're hitting nothing relevant for weakness. Maybe like Stonejourner VMAX, but even then, no. And you do have a bunch of tricks. I mean, what I really like about grass Pokemon, you've got Turffield Stadium to search out your evolutions, which is pretty good. For a brief period of time pre-rotation, you've got Netball to grab your basic Pokemon or energy, as long as it's all grass. We do have a bunch of healing going on, but you've not got a huge amount of HP. No, ladies and gentlemen, none of that's relevant. The reason why we're playing Decidueye is for the ability Forest Camouflage. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon V and Pokémon-GX. Oh. Yeah, that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. That'll do it very nicely indeed. And here's the thing. We are not turning off these abilities. Like, literally, there is like one post-rotation, as far as I'm aware, and correct me in the comment section if I've missed one, but there is basically one Pokemon post-rotation that will turn off this ability. It's Galarian Weezing. But Galarian Weezing only works when it's in the active, and it's not a Pokemon GX or V, so although it technically turns off your ability, it doesn't really help turn off the ability. Which means this ability is sticking. Which basically means if you can get this rolling, you are good. Now, it is damage, not effective attacks including damage, so your opponent will be able to try and get a little bit tricksy. So, for instance, Blacephalon, I know it's rotating out, but it's a nice example. Single Energy and Burn and Confusion. The Burn and Confusion will totally work. They won't be able to Mind Blown to do any damage, but they will be able to confuse. Similarly, now this does not say when it's in the active, but if it's sitting on the bench, it's working, right? The ability is working on the bench, but Dragapult will still be able to drop 5 damage counters. Now, there's a strong argument that dropping 5 damage counters a turn is going to be too slow. It's basically a free hit KO on your bench Decidueye, but it will still work. This does not give you complete and utter immunity from everything, but it does give you immunity from the damage. And we just don't have great GXs at the moment and Pokemon V that are really going to be able to take advantage of, okay, fine, I'm not doing damage, but look, I can do this instead. Now, of course, as many people have already pointed out, this is basically Hooper. Now, Hooper blocks GXs and EXs. This blocks GXs and Vs. which is kind of annoying because there's no reason for it not to block EXs. Clearly, the intention is for it to block multiple prize Pokemon, and yeah, tag teams and VMAXs will count here. So, clearly, this is supposed to be something which is blocking multiple prize Pokemon, but if you take this Decidueye into the expanded format, this won't be blocking EXs. And then I go to the question of, but why is it not? Like, is there any good reason this isn't blocking EXs? And the honest answer is, oh, well, it's just the way they write the cards. EXs aren't around at the moment in Standard. But why not, and we've said this many times before, why not just have one term that counts for multiple prize Pokemon, like these, GXs, EXs, and then this would have immunity from all of them, because as it is, you're going to be disadvantaged in the expanded format, and I can't imagine that was the intention of the card designers. But hey-ho, this is good. Hooper was good, Hooper saw play, this is good, this will see play. And like a bunch of Pokemon we've seen recently, this will work in a hit and run deck. So you basically have Hitmonchan hits and goes to the bench, and then this goes in the active and your opponent isn't able to attack it. But having said that, we got bosses orders and stuff nowadays, so I really do think this works best if you can just shut your opponent out the game. If what you're doing is literally whacking this up and going, ha ha ha, now you can't do anything. Because if you're against, I mean, let's take your average Zacian ADP deck, alright? Let's go over to limitlesstcg.com/tournaments and have a look at the kind of deck list that we tend to see people playing when they're playing this deck. Well, Zacian's not going to be attacking you, it's a Pokemon V. Arceus, Adalga, and Palkia isn't going to be attacking you, it's a Pokemon V. And I mean, you know, we're looking at the highest finishing, or one of the highest finishing lists in the Limitless Qualifier number 3, and we see stuff like Dedenne. Well, it's a GX and it's not an attacker. Galarian Berserker. It's not an attacker. Now, you can attack with it, it's a metal Pokemon, but you're talking free energy, 70 damage, it's not particularly good. And Eldegoss V, not an attacker. So actually, they have literally nothing, actually nothing, that they can really attack you with. Berserker is their best option. If we look at Pikachu and Zekrom decks, Pikachu and Zekrom is a GX, so that's not going to work. They might be playing Boltund V, but that's a GX, that's not going to work. They might be playing Tapu Koko V, but that's a V, that's not going to work. Zero Aura GX, it's a GX, not going to work. Honestly, the vast majority of decks, they basically have maybe 2 options. They might play one copy of Zapdos. Zapdos does 80 when it becomes active, so it can 2-hit KO you. If it can come active, hit you, go to the bench, come active, hit you, and the deck is not set up for that. It is designed to get Jirachi in and out the active, but that is using a skateboard on a retreat cost of 1 Pokemon, rather than Zapdos, which has a retreat cost of 2. Yes, that makes a difference. Oh. And the other one they've got, they do have Tapu Koko Prism Star, which can hit 120 damage for free energy. It's there for the ability that accelerates energy. It's not there as an attacker. But it kind of has to be there as an attacker now, which isn't ideal. It's all they've got. And to be fair, with Electro Power, before that rotates, which will be about when this card comes out, they can actually get a 1-hit KO. The point I'm making here is that a lot of these top decks just don't have an answer. I mean, we'll take one more example, right? Dragapult VMAX, one of the very best decks around at the moment. If we look at the Pokemon they physically can attack with in terms of the energy that they're playing, we're talking the Mewtwo that is only there to recover supporters, which can do 70 damage for free energy. The Mimikyu, which is really there to turn off abilities, which does 20 damage and confusion on a coin flip. Mr. Mime, which is there to stop your opponent picking up their Pokemon, which does 20 damage and paralysis on a coin flip. Giratina, which does 70 damage and confusion for free energy. Bearing in mind they're often not playing energy acceleration. They might be playing a Malamar line, which gives them a better chance, but they're often not going to be. And you see my point here? I've just run you through 3 of the very, very best decks in the format, and they do not have an answer to Decidueye. They just don't. They literally do not have a competent attacker, so that if you can get like a couple of Decidueye out, they basically have to fold. Now against a deck like Blacephalon, you're going to need something else, right? They're going to have an easy time, but this is going to work against a bunch of decks. And the attack is kind of irrelevant. 2 energy, 90 to the active, 20 damage to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. As far as it goes, it's a pretty nice attack, but it's just like the attack on Hooper. And it's just like the attack on Obstagoon, who's really there because it blocks basic Pokemon. The attack is fine, it's functional, whatever. It does just enough to be useful, but if you're not blocking your opponent attacking, the attack isn't going to be good enough. If you are blocking them attacking, the attack doesn't even really matter. I do really like the extra benched energy. Means you can take multiple prize turns. It means if your opponent tries to take a hit, go to the bench, take a hit, go to the bench, etc., which is a strategy some people use while trying to buy time to set up a counter, you are stopping them doing that a bit by hitting the bench as well. It's fine. It's perfect in this deck. But really, we're playing this for the ability. But we can't finish this video without talking about Rowlet. Because you see, Rowlet here is actually a really nice Pokemon as well. Now, the 50 HP sucks. We don't like the 50 HP. Especially in a world where Dragapult exists and drops 5 damage counters with Max Phantom. Bearing in mind its damage counters so you won't block them with Mew. You need to be terrified of Dragapult here, to the point you might legitimately have to play a different Rowlet, because it might literally not be worth it, because if you ever bench one Rowlet at a time, you will just be KO'd by Dragapult. Having said that, the better one we've got is a 60 HP one from Cosmic Eclipse, and given that these Dragapult decks are all playing Galarian Zigzagoon, which drops 1 damage counter, there's a decent chance they're just going to drop Zigzagoon and then drop 5 damage counters and KO you anyway. So maybe it doesn't even matter after all of that. The point is, you've got very low HP, watch out. But you do have the ability Flying Circus. It's the same one that Swanna had that we looked at recently. In fact, probably in the previous video. If you played Birdkeeper this turn, ignore all energy in this Pokemon's attacks. So if you've played Birdkeeper, you get to attack for free. Birdkeeper is the supporter card that lets you switch and draw free cards. It is literally a switch and a hop in one card. It's quite nice. It's not perfect by any stretch. Pretty nice card nonetheless. And what it does is 60 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. This is actually really nice. It's like really nice. There are plenty of 60 HP Pokemon out there. There's a bunch of evolving Pokemon, but we also see Spiritomb, for instance. Or if you're doing damage to the bench, which you are with Decidueye, you could take out a 70 HP Jirachi or a 70 HP Galarian Zigzagoon. As soon as you've hit them with Decidueye, they are in range of Rowlet. And then you're taking cheeky prizes. Now, obviously, as soon as you put Rowlet in the active, your opponent can then KO it for a prize with a GX or a V Pokemon. But essentially, you block, and then when you're in a position where you're feeling good enough, you don't need to block, or you're literally going to win the game by doing so, you use Birdkeeper to switch to Rowlet, you draw 3 cards, and then you hit 60 damage and take a key KO. I don't think Rowlet is phenomenal in and of itself, but I think as a nice little bonus in a Decidueye deck, it's really, really nice. You need to be playing Birdkeeper for it to work. If you're not playing Birdkeeper, just play the 60 HP Rowlet. But if you are playing Birdkeeper, and a lot of people I think probably are going to, this is a really, really nice bonus. But make no mistake about it, Decidueye is here just to block decks. There are plenty of decks, as I've shown you in this video, where you can literally just get a couple of Decidueye out, and you're going to basically win the game from there. We don't have a good way to turn off the ability, And unless people start changing their deck lists, and to be fair, if Decidueye does become popular, they will, there's a lot of decks out there that just plain don't have an answer to this, and that is going to give you a bunch of easy wins. You don't have to just play Decidueye. You can play other Pokemon as well to cover other matchups, but Decidueye can be fun. And yes, I know it's a Stage 2, and Stage 2s are awkward, but again, if you get this rolling against one of those decks that literally doesn't have an answer, does it matter if you only get double or treble Decidueye out when your opponent's already at 5 prizes? They might have 1 prize left to take, but if you're hitting 90 to the active, 20 to 2 of their bench every turn, and they cannot take a prize, does it matter that they went up 5 prizes? I'd argue maybe it doesn't. I'm giving this 4 Wossies. I think it's a phenomenal card that suffers from being a Stage 2, and some decks will literally just outspeed you and stop you setting up. But when you get rolling, ladies and gentlemen, this is good. Just imagine if we still had Forest of Giant Plants in the format. Yeah, that'd be good. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about Decidueye. Do you think it's going to work? Do you think it's going to be a new archetype that gets a whole bunch of free wins? Or do you think it's just not going to end up being good enough? Do you think it's just a tad too slow? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Me nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassiePlays, where you can find out about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but are pretty gosh darned awesome nonetheless. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.